In 1980, Belgian chamber rock Zeuhl band Present released their debut album Triskaïdékaphobie on Ada, and from it the track
Promenade au fond d'un canal.
which translates to walk at the bottom of a canal. Okay, and that was
Promenade au fond d'un canal.
Walk at the Bottom of a Canal by Present off their 1980 first album, Triskaïdékaphobie. Yes, the side one, full-sided epic instrumental number, and a tough one to describe, so I just kind of had to plunge right into it. It began with a rising, falling, like half-step bass figure centered in D. Like it was like a D, but it was like it was going like up half a step, then maybe below. Do no 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 no, like flanked with cymbals and clean grand piano. Then at around, and that developed for about a minute and 50 seconds, and then suddenly this abrupt staccato section, well, several sections kind of unfurled in short order. Um, yeah, within about 3 seconds of one another, with this really staccato piano coming just out of nowhere and really like frenetic rhythmic qualities. Ultimately, all that settling on a heavy, like 1, 2, 3 downbeat, like bars in E minor, like da da da, like yeah, like emphasis on downbeats on like the 1, 2, 3 of every four. Yeah, I was trying to at that point I think we were in 4/4 anyway. There were some parts for the next few minutes where I was kind of lost as far as the time signature, but later on I kind of picked up. We were hearing a waltz for a while, and then like some 11/8. But I'll get to that in a bit. Okay, the E minor bars, rising half steps, like dun 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 dun, like an E minor, then rising a bit to F momentarily for like a note, and then back. So kind of like monochordal with like one kind of rising note, and then up and down, wavering note, I should say, and then around, and that intensity carried on, encircled with piano for like 3 minutes, and then around 4:30, the intensity subsided for sustained guitar lines, followed by a waltz section with reverberating piano figure, interlocked with clean guitar and faint howling background noise. Best I could describe it. At around 6:20, staccato piano figure. I'm reading from my notes, so forgive the bad English. These were just taken as fast as things were flying by me. Staccato piano figure assumed this like 11/8 pattern. It was like a 4, 4, and 4, and 3, like that. Drumming became more aggressive, violating the piano pattern. Oftentimes you would have like this piano figure playing like the staccato kind of frenetic figure, and then the drumming just kind of like violating it, kind of like playing just with indifference to it, trying to corrupt it, and the bass trying to the bass, the drums, and the piano were constantly trying to corrupt each other. Most oftentimes, though, it was the piano that was trying to kind of hold together some semblance of a theme. And then odd interjections of thick bass, sustained guitar drones, changing notes every 6 or 2. Yeah, the guitar would just kind of like hold on to this one searing note, and then maybe alter the note like every bar of like 6 or 12 or whatever. And then another breakup at around 9:45, where this like 6/4 clean guitar figure emerged over some droning back noises and indifferent downbeats, for want of a better way to characterize them. The bass assumed that same guitar figure we had just been hearing at around 11-minute mark. And the drumming took on this like roll kick pause pattern, like rolls and like kick drum for like the first 4 of 6, and then just pause for the final 2 counts. Yeah, and then echoey, nervous guitar notes pierced in at around 12:30 for this like call and response with like this one. Actually, one of the most catchy moments in the whole track. It only lasted for about 30 seconds though. Some of these like avant rock bands at the time would do that. Like Henry Cow would do that. The catchy they would find like this catchy pattern somewhere in the track, like maybe 4 minutes in, but they would only keep it up for about 20 seconds before they would go into more kind of really free form, fractious, oftentimes really difficult sections. Yeah. Whereas some other acts of the period may have just chose to focus, like most jazz rock bands would focus on the catchy moments and then like modulate them, build them up, and stuff like that. Yeah. Then let's see. Okay, accuracy I call into question here. Don't necessarily hold me to this. Staccato piano rolls, kind of in the teens anyway, around this pensive two note, kind of mono key bass figure, like basically in one key but with like two notes within the key, just kind of like veering between those rather nervously, beset with some off-time drumming, and around the 15-15 mark, the rhythm section dropped out for sustained guitar tones that turned more scaly as it went on, and sinewy. Plopping bass and minimalistic piano figure reemerged in the background. Yeah, some of the piano figures were kind of like minimalistic. I hear that influence, like taking like a figure, like an abrupt figure, and then, but like, and then building on it. Except rather than complementing it with multiple layers and more layers to the point where things get almost kind of like hallucinogenic in a way, and here they're just like constantly trying to like contradict each other, the different elements. Yeah. And then finally, glistening grand piano melody from earlier in the track returned to the fore as the guitar got ever more fractious. And that's kind of how things were carried out to the end, yeah, of this 19-minute, 15-second piece. Yeah, and before I murder the title.
Promenade au fond d'un canal.
Yeah, Walk at the Bottom of a Canal from the 1980 debut album by present Triskaïdékaphobie. Yeah, they would put out this, they would put out another album 5 years later, and then they would put out 3 albums during the 1990s. Yeah, kind of a Zeuhl chamber rock supergroup. I mean, we have, it's led by Roger Trigaux, who had been on the first 2 Universe Zero albums, yeah, 1313 and Heresy. And also features Daniel Denis, who was on the first Universe Zero album, or the first 2 Universe Zero albums, and was also on the second and third Artzoid albums, Music pour l'Odyssée and Generation Sans Futur. Yeah, I've covered a couple of tracks off that album. Continued to, also was on the third, actually just continued to play with Universe Zero throughout the 80s, and kind of was in both these projects, present and Universe Zero, simultaneously. Yeah, the 3 early 80s Universe Zero albums, and then La Poison qui Rend Fou, the second present album from 1985, and then pianist Alain Rochette put out a solo album in Modulation in 1982, played with a few acts during a few, like on the Benelux scene, yeah, and the Reformed present during the 1990s, yeah. Anyway, and this album had, I guess, kind of limited availability in its own time on ADAM, but was later became much more widely distributed when it, basically when the present catalog became one of the cornerstones of Cuneiform Records. Yeah, reissued. One of the earlier things that Stephen Feigenbaum reissued on his label back, like in early 90s, thereabouts, yeah, and it's become much more widely known ever since then. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, present, yeah, it's very difficult to describe music like this. It's that really kind of does remind me of the oft-quoted Frank Zappa, line that I don't need to, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know it already, or you can look it up, yeah, about trying to describe music. It really is just trying to kind of work your way through right through an almost kind of beautiful wreckage in a way, and trying to make sense of what was destroyed and what kind of could make sort of a new kind of odd work of art in its own corrupted way. Yeah. Anyway, for more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of present, see the directory of albums by Belgian artists linked in the description below for red hot tracks and purples from the present albums as well as the Universe Zero albums. Yeah. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the big long track we just heard, the interplay, the intensity, the layers, the fractiousness of it all, the confusion of it all. Yeah, what time signatures were some of those sections, and I couldn't quite count. Yeah, if there are any sections where kind of my description got a little bit inaccurate because I was so kind of lost in it all and kind of just perplexed by it all, yeah. Yeah, you want to take a shot at really breaking that down into words, yeah, be my guest. Yeah, and until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most air travel Trimax most, signing off.